Tastes like blueberry Fruit Loops. Happy Sunday, everybody! Welcome back. I'm very, very excited to talk to you guys about today's topic, and that is because as you can tell from the title, it is the first of what I think is going to be a series of videos based on a book I started to think about writing, I think, last summer. I have been a server for about 6 years in a whole variety of different kinds of dining spaces. So I've done everything from a nightlife bar kind of thing to fine Italian dining. I've done the more pubby, sort of chain restaurant type of restaurant, outdoor patios, things like that. So I've had quite a bit and quite a variety of experience serving. And last summer I was kind of just sitting around and I had an idea to make a book. And mostly because I had all these different chapter ideas, like, oh, I could talk about tips and different kinds of guests and things like that. And now I'm spilling the beans on the rest of the videos. That's okay. So I did want to start by making the first of those videos today. And what I'm going to talk about today is my experience and therefore my opinions on sort of what it takes to be a server. And again, this is based on my thoughts when I first started out and what I've learned since. So I hear from my current close friends and even in the past quite a bit, you know, I don't know how you do it, I could never be a server. It's always either I'm way too clumsy or I hate people. I hate people. So I'm going to kind of use that as a talking point to start us off today. I'm going to start by highlighting a few personality traits that it would be nice if you had. I'm not saying you have to have these things as part of your personality to be a server, but definitely it would be nice if you weren't clumsy. So I guess this is less so a personality trait and just something about you in general. Now, a disclaimer, to be fair, I definitely was a clumsy child, and therefore growing up, early teenage years, which is right about when I started serving, I thought of myself as a clumsy person. But no one ever really told me or pointed out to me, you know, hey, like serving, you're carrying things, you're dodging things, you're running around, probably not the best thing for you. Well, eventually I just learned to not be clumsy. But yes, if you are not a clumsy person, that is best. However, like myself, you can work your way around that. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes satisfactory, actually. Secondly, I want to talk about how this one probably goes without saying, but it's good if you are at least a little bit of an extrovert. Like I said, it kind of seems obvious. Well, yeah, duh. It is a people job. Serving is a people job. So A, you have to not hate people. B, be okay with speaking to them, and C, as best you can, be able to verbally manage awkward or uncomfortable situations. I'll give you an example. You're going to have a wide variety of guests. You're going to have the creepy dad of the family that's, you know, very uncomfortably, you know, hitting on you in front of his wife and kids. You're going to have, you know, the younger crowd who maybe they're shy, they're 13, 14, 15 years old, mom just dropped them off to go out for the birthday dinner and they don't really know how to be social in a public setting without mom and dad kind of thing. So you have to kind of be the leader of conversation, if that makes sense. And I think that that's something that extroverts are really very good at. Verbally agile. I didn't want to use that word because I'm going to use that word in a little bit of a different context in just a minute. But yes, verbally agile. You have to be very on your feet when it comes to conversations and enjoy them at that. You need to at least a little bit enjoy being social and interacting with people. So that's kind of an obvious one. Another personality trait I think is important and that I've definitely learned is important as a server is being decisive. And being decisive kind of has a lot of sub-personality traits within it, but the biggest one would probably have to do with time management. You are running the show when you're a server, okay? You have your set of tables or your section in a lot of restaurants. Hopefully your restaurant gives you sections. I won't get into that right now. yeah, so you're running the show, you're the leader of the pack here, you gotta help this person with this, get this for this, answer this question, run to the back, run here and there, left and right. You're very much running your own show. For that reason, you have to be able to time manage your own show. Okay, you need to kind of figure out who needs what, when's the best time for you to do this, go here, ask that, get this. Why I chose to use the word decisive is that I've worked with a lot of servers that, and this is well beyond when they're new, they're no longer a new server at the restaurant, and they're very, they like to ask questions. They're afraid to kind of just take initiative and go get the thing or do the thing, and they're asking management or they're asking other servers their opinions on a lot of things, and really it just ends up wasting time. So it's like, okay, well I have this, this, and this to do. Should I do C first? Or, you know, I'll see if this person can do this for me. Just go, just get things done. I myself, no, I am not perfect. 100%, there have been times where I've done the wrong thing first, or, you know, didn't time manage so well that, you know, this table who asked for this thing first didn't get it because I was focused on something else. It's going to happen, you're going to make mistakes, but I think that just generally speaking, if you at least have the ability to put your best foot forward in being decisive and taking initiative and things like that, then I think that you will set yourself up for success. Now the last thing is agility, and I actually got this idea to talk about this from another server friend of mine. And I think that the personality trait of being agile has two parts when it comes to being a server. And that is physical agility, as is its normal definition, and emotional agility, for sure. Emotion agility. Just made up that word. Okay. So first, physical agility. You're a server, you're running around, okay? Your restaurant might have 2 floors. It might be very table heavy. You're going in and out of the kitchen, which customers, do you have any idea what happens behind kitchen doors? Do you want to know? The answer is no. Okay, the kitchen is a crazy, crazy place at a restaurant, right? There's not only other coworkers, but you know, there's food flying around. There's people in the dining room, tables, chairs, you know, the bar even, things like that. You can slip and fall. People are carrying things. You do definitely have to be physically agile. Pay attention. Again, this goes kind of hand in hand with the clumsy thing. Pay attention to where you're walking. Sometimes, most times, you're multitasking a lot. So you're thinking about your next 3 moves. You're carrying something and you're, you know, weaving in and out of people in the dining room. So definitely physical agility is important. Emotional agility or emotion agility. This is actually going to be a nice segue into the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about. The great thing about serving as a job is that as crazy, crazy stressful as it is, I'd say in an average shift, if you work at a busier place, as crazy as your serving shift is, it's not a take-home job. It's a leave the stress at work kind of job. That being said, what I mean by emotional agility is that there are going to be serving shifts that just want to make you tear your hair out. There will be serving shifts where you cry, if you're anything like me. There will be serving shifts where you want to cry, or where another server cries and you gotta just pat them on the back. Server to server conflicts are going to happen. Server to anyone else working in the restaurant conflicts are going to happen. And of course, you are going to have less than kind and less than patient guests that you'll have to deal with as well. So it is tough, and all packed into what is usually probably anywhere from a 3 to 5 hour shift on average. It will feel like an 8 to 10 hour shift by the end of it because of that emotional stress that you're under. So having that emotional agility, that ability to kind of leave it at work, and even during the shift, before it's even over, get over things quickly, is very, very important for you to do your job properly, for you to keep moving, be able to time manage, be able to run your show. So yeah, emotion agility and physical agility. Now, could you be any louder? I'm sorry. Just pipe it up a little bit. That's good. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Okay. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, personality traits are their own thing. And again, those are things that it's good to have to be a server. Next is a little bit more about what I want to talk about, what you should be okay with if you are planning to step into the server lifestyle. And that is, and it's just about that. It is about that lifestyle, and it is a lifestyle if you're a server. More often than not, as a server, you're going to be working nights and weekends. So what that means is you're missing out on a lot of social events, and maybe even, well, social family and friend events that you would normally be able to go to because you're working those dinner shifts most of the weekends. So number one, point blank, if you're not okay with doing that, if you're not okay with missing out on those social events as frequently as you would as a server, maybe it's not the job for you. I took a very long time to learn the lesson of, for family holidays, take them off ahead of time. And it might seem silly when it's January 1st and you're taking off Christmas of that year. Do it. Do it. Because you're going to forget about it. It's going to become December. You're going to open up that time off book and you're going to see that not only 6 servers have booked it off, but that your manager has written no more time off every single year at Easter. So take those holidays off. Take off the days, the weddings, the birthdays of your friends as soon as you know about it. Don't put it off. Don't say, oh, I'll get to it. Take them off no matter how far ahead of time it is. But again, there are going to be times that even when you do take it off ahead of time, maybe the restaurant's busy, it's a busy weekend, and you won't get that time off. So you have to be a little bit okay with missing out on those things. That being said, some of my serving jobs have been very easy for me to make friends with the people that I work with. Now, the reason that this is a good idea is because these people are on the same schedule as you. So while you're missing out with your, maybe your personal life, your friends in your personal life, those social events, you can hang out and socialize with the people that you work with. The people that you work with. They're getting done work at the same time as you. They might have days off the same time as you, and tread lightly with this because sleep hygiene and maintaining that is kind of a subtopic, but they're done work at the same time as you. So a big part of the serving culture I have found is the drinks after work kind of thing. After a long, stressful shift, you kind of hang out with the servers and you have a drink at the bar to kind of wind down before going home, or even if it's like a weekend, you can go out together because, again, you're on that same schedule. So that's a good idea to do as well, being friends with the people you work with. Maybe that's not your thing. Try to make it your thing. So also to do with the fact that serving is a nights and weekends job, you have to be okay with the fact that sometimes most of your day is going to be at night when it's dark and after your shift. Now, the reason I say that is depending on the kind of restaurant or setting that you work in. Let's say it's a weekend, which is where you'll probably get a good chunk of your shifts and the best money, quite frankly, I've found. So let's talk about the block of Friday to Sunday. You might work Friday and Saturday night, okay? So if serving's your only job, or if you have a 9 to 5, whatever you're doing Friday day is fine, but you go into work Friday night and you might work most of the night, meaning you might get off of work either very tired or very wired. Regardless, you're probably going to go to bed later that night, even if the restaurant closes late. You're already going to bed later than you would have planned, and you're going to wake up later the next morning. You're going to wake up later the next morning on Saturday and go into work again for that dinner shift. Okay, so what I found is that when I worked at the bar, when I worked at the restaurant, I felt like most of my day was sleeping and at work, that by the time I got off work, which is supposed to be your downtime for the average 9 to 5 office person, it starts at 5, mine was starting at 10, 11 at night. And I didn't want to get home and go to bed again. First of all, I hadn't eaten dinner, so you know that I'm probably getting takeout from the restaurant on the way home and eating that when I get there. But I also want to have a part of the day to myself. So I would get home and, depending on, if I was in university or if it was after, turn on Netflix, have what is my dinner, and chill out. Now again, a great way or a great reason to be friends with the servers and the other people that you work with is most of the other people in your life, family, and personal life friends are sleeping. Or if it's the weekend, they're out and they're already, 2 hours into the plans that you couldn't make. So I mentioned sleep hygiene a couple minutes ago. While you do want to reserve some of the day for you time, and that being after your serving shifts, you should be able to maintain proper sleep hygiene as best you can as well. And it really is a balance, and it's a constant balance. What I would do when I worked the back-to-back weekend nights like that is one night, probably Friday night, because there's more recovery time till Monday again. Friday night, I would do the late night thing. Okay, I had a big long shift. I don't want to go to bed as soon as I get home. I'd stay up, I'd chill, have dinner, watch Netflix, and go to bed a little bit later. Saturday night, I would try to get myself a little bit back on schedule. By Saturday night, 2 back-to-back serving shifts in a row, the good thing is you're a little bit more tired, so it's easier to go to bed right away when you got home. So I would make Saturday night a little bit of an earlier bedtime, and then whether or not I worked dinner or day shift Sunday, it was kind of right back down to business anyway for Monday. Now the reason I'm referring to Monday is because most of, if not all of my serving shifts have either been a second job when I was working a regular 9 to 5, which was my most recent experience, or I was actually in school. So Monday was back down to business regardless. Either I was going to work at 8:30 or going to a class fairly early Monday morning. So all of these things being said, there are definitely some personality traits that are good to have if you're thinking about getting into serving. There are also some lifestyle things that you should be okay with, or at least willing to learn to be okay with if you're thinking of getting into serving. I will say this now as, again, a disclaimer for all of my serving, all of the videos that I'm going to make in this series going forward. I think that serving is a fantastic job if you can handle it, if you enjoy it. That's a big one too. You must enjoy it or try to enjoy it to do the job. I think it's fantastic. It is a great way to make money, a great way to socialize, and if you are a independent worker and a team worker, you kind of have that split down the middle. You're not one or the other. It's a perfect job for you as well, because like I said, you have your situation where you're running your own show, your own section, your own set of tables. But serving is very much a team job as well. The restaurant cannot run if you don't work as a team. And if you're lucky, the restaurant you might work in might even have sort of things set up so that everyone's kind of helping out each other. I worked at a couple chain restaurants like that they really have that in place. You're kind of bringing food to each other's tables, giving drinks to each other's tables. That helps as well. It just depends on what your restaurant's standards are and what their sort of workflows are. But thank you guys for listening. I'm so excited to touch on some of the other subjects I have in mind with regards to serving. If I have any servers out there, comment below any other personality traits you think apply, or lifestyle aspects that you think our fellow servers should be prepared to deal with or be okay with. I'd love to hear from you guys. And also if you have any ideas for topics related to serving that you'd like me to talk about or tell stories about or just give my opinions, I would love to hear from you. So happy Sunday, guys. Have a fantastic week, and cheers.